Hi everyone, you alright? Thanks for joining in. Hi Ched, you alright Paul, Nelly and the window washer. Is that you, is it James, the window washer? And yeah, thanks for joining in, and same for everyone else. We seem to have 15 viewers on concurrently at the same time now. So that's cool. Thanks for joining in everyone and liking the video and all the good stuff. If you already haven't done so, subscribe to the channel, all the good stuff, you know, it all helps. But yeah, I hope you've all had a good week. My week's been alright. It's just the weather, isn't it? It's been a bit chilly, and a lot of people commented in me vlog videos I was doing. It's pretty much the same across the country, I think. So hopefully we get the better weather coming this week. I haven't really looked at it. I know everyone was talking about it and saying that it's going to be a better week. Hi Robbie, you alright mate? Thanks for joining us. Cheers buddy. And also Tower Pro Clean as well. Thanks for coming back. Yeah, so I just hope everyone's had a good week. In terms of getting the work done, I've worked all week, so that's good. I like it like that. It's bizarre. I think 2 days we had like rain, hail, storms and sunshine all rolled into one, as you probably saw in the vlogs. But yeah, at least it was workable. And I've done some days where I've gone beyond 5 o'clock, me and Matthew working away. But I think I've started slightly later each morning. That's just because I'm just so knackered, to be honest. But I'm not working tomorrow. The reason why I'm not working tomorrow is actually Matthew's birthday. And my wife wants me to have a long weekend off. But I say long weekend, I was working today really when I was cleaning out my van, washing it, sorting my kit out, cleaning the poles out, packing it all away, then the car, stuff like that. Hi Matt, you alright mate? I've seen your video, and same with your video as well, Paul. Alright Brad, welcome back. Cheers mate. Yeah, I'll pass happy birthday on Ched and everyone else to Matthew. Matthew and Sophie used to always get their birthdays off, so but when it's my birthday I'm always working because I need the money. I'm at the skinter end of the year, February. And my dog's birthday is the same as mine, so I always wanted the day off, but I had to work this year. Last year I had the day off, but I had to. But this month for me, money-wise, I've got what I need to pay everyone, which is put me in a good, strong position, really, compared to what I've been the last few months. So every day extra is just a bonus, so I want to build the pot up. Because like we say, you never know what's around the corner, dear. You'll get the sunshine and there'll be something wrong with your van or something. But yeah, building up the pot, pay a few things off. So I just thought for today's live, really, I haven't got a subject in mind, just do a Q&A and just a general chit chat, really, and sort of like shoot the breeze amongst each other. And then I think I've seen some people asking questions like in the window cleaners hub that Matt set up. Like a few comments where people are asking about the tubeless system and how that works. So I thought I could see who uses that. I think Neil uses it. He put a post on there where it's like wearing the bottom part of the section number 2 in his poll, I think. Yeah, save up for the expo. I'm hoping to get enough money in the bank for that, so I'll get a couple of bits. There's some bits I'd like, which are going to be... I'd like to replace the reels. My hoses, sorry, not the reels. The hoses on my reels. Because they're quite worn, and I've had a little... They puncture easy, so I've chopped one a bit short. It's always luckily punctured near the end. Trim a bit off. Keep going. But I should have enough money to buy a new hose. And I might as well get one for Matthew on the end, so it look nice. Brad's just saying, I feel like the sun coming out started to get people in the spending mood again. Yeah, this week actually I've had the sort of like opposite. I've actually lost 5 customers. It's two are lost on Friday, spoke to me. One's because they're moving, so I'm chuffed for her. She'd lost her husband about 2 years ago. She's in a big house all on her own. It's a lot to do. She's 82. And obviously, yeah, it knocked her for 6, obviously. But she's been sorting through stuff, putting a house on the market so she can move near her daughters. And she's moving this Tuesday, so bless her heart. She come out a nice word to me and wanted to thank me for, she said, putting up with miserable me. But she just wanted to say that the chat's helped. And I said, it's no problem. It's all part of the job, isn't it? Some people need it. And what's 5-10 minutes of me time, really, just to hear them out. And then a lady opposite, they've just cutting back because of the cost of living going up high. So her husband's going to have a go at cleaning the windows. So I just, sad to see you go, but I understand and take it back in a heartbeat if you ever change your mind. So no doubt near winter we might get called back. And then we've had another 3 during the week. My wife's told me where there's 2, they're related, they're sisters. And I don't think I've done anything wrong. No one said anything, but you always worry about that, don't you? I just think it's people starting to have to pull back and save money. Things are getting tougher, aren't they? So has anyone else experienced that? I mean, thankfully, I'm always taking some customers on at some point anyway. So we're taking and losing. I've lost one job as well. Again, nothing we've done wrong. It's just the people are moving to new premises and they basically make conservatories, fit windows, that sort of thing. And they've got like a show area where there's 7 conservatories and we clean in and out, plus the roof inside and out as well. And we do that every month and their main building. And God, I've probably been doing that about 4 years. And it's one where me, my wife, all my kids, we used to all do together and get that done in 2 hours between us. But yeah, unfortunately I'm moving. So that's a bit of a hit, but luckily I've took on a lot of customers since I took that job on, so I can afford to. Luckily it's because Sophie's no longer working for me. That's a wage I'm not having to pay, if you get what I mean. So it all kind of happened at the right time, if it was going to happen anyway. So yeah, and people have been a bit more happier, smilier with this hot weather, I've noticed anyway, and I probably myself has been a bit happier. But it's still cold on the old hands, wasn't it, with that chilly wind? But it was too hot to wear my gloves. I was overheating. I need to buy new gloves because they get damp. I've got a hole right between my thumb and finger in the gloves and the water comes in that way. So I need them, change them anyway. Won't be long till the shorts are out. Then I'm getting sunburnt on the back of your legs. I've forgotten who's telling me on one of the comments. I've forgotten who it was now. But they're saying about when they first started window cleaning with an old fellow and he took the bottom windows. It's all traditional then. And he had to go up the ladder, but he'd never put sun cream on his legs and he's had the worst sunburn that day ever. Did make me laugh. So yeah, I don't know if anyone's got any similar stories like that out there. I just want to welcome everyone else in for coming in. We got 20 people watching now. Hi Mark. You alright, mate? How are you? And yeah, the expo. I know it's 2 days, 28th and 29th of March. For some reason, I thought that was a Saturday and a Sunday, but I believe it's a Friday and a Saturday. So for those of you going up, I think, are you going up on the Saturday, which should be the 29th of March, if I've got that right? I haven't checked on my calendar. I'm going to have to do that. And yeah, Neil was saying we could all meet up in a Morrison's at a certain time, obviously, to have breakfast before the expo starts, and I'm up for that for sure. Hello, Sean, mate. You all right? Thanks for coming in. I just wonder if anyone else is going up there with the same thing in mind, sort of meet up. So it is Saturday the 29th, I believe. I'll check my calendar after, but whatever the date it turns out, it'll be Saturday. I'm Matt saying, yeah, Saturday. Yeah, we'll have to come up with a time to meet at the Morrison's Cafe. Cheers, Robbie. Because I know someone like Matt, he's driving a long way, so he wants to be there on time to meet with everyone. Saturday for you as well, Mark. I take it really most people are going Saturday because you want to work on a Friday, really, don't you? Don't want to take time off unless you're loaded. But I'll be working. Bit more money to spend then, innit? So like I said, I'm hoping to get 2 hose reels for sure, and I'm hoping to get a longer brush, 35cm one, and put that on my setup and give that a whirl, and then just generally have a look round, really see what's going on. The uncleanables will be there, I think, so I'm going to tip my hat to them and maybe sit in and do whatever they're going to do. They can grill me, interview me, that sort of stuff. I'll probably give top tips on what not to do and how to get it all wrong. But yeah, Oh, so Matt, you're leaving home at 5:45, so it'll get you there for 9:30. Yeah, fingers crossed the traffic's good for you, mate. Yeah, I'd see what you're saying there, Ched. Get a flocked brush because it covers leaded windows and all the other ones. Whereas if I got the DuPont, I won't be able to do the leaded windows. That's what I'd probably suggest to anyone that's starting out. If you're going to get a brush and you can't afford to buy a couple, whatever, just get a flocked one first for that exact same reason. And sometimes I prefer the flocked brush for daily use over the DuPont because it seems to glide across the glass a little bit better, or feels like it's stuck to it, so it glides across. And then I sort of go through phases, and then I prefer the DuPont, and then I'll go back to preferring the flocked. It's weird, isn't it? But yeah, flocked one for a beginner's brush because you can't afford loads. I mean, I remember when I first started, in my first couple of years, it took me about 3 months to save up enough money to be able to buy a brush, because he's always having to put it on something else. Yeah, so anyway, might as well go into, for those that are interested about the tubeless system. I'm not sure, I would have thought most people would use it, but I do see quite a few people in the videos don't. They still have like a pole hose that they wrap around the pole holder when they put it in the van. And yeah, I'll just buy this stuff off Xline Innovations. It can seem confusing. I'll just go on the home, and then basically under the product categories, you want to go on the Go Tubeless system. It doesn't mean there's no tubes or hoses inside the pole, but what it does mean is you're not having to wrap your pole hose when you've disconnected from your main hose on like your pole holders. Like we said, keeps it a bit more neater and saves you a bit of time. Keep unwrapping and putting it back and coiling it up. Yeah, Matt, I've noticed that. For those who got the OV8 poles, Xline Innovations don't do a tubeless system for it. I can't remember the exact reasons. I think it's because obviously the bit that goes inside the poles is circular, which is at the bottom of the tubeless kit, where it will connect to the slick connector, so it won't be able to go up inside the OV8 pole. It's a shame they don't do something to design that so they can do that, because there's obviously a big market of people are OV8 poles, isn't it, who would like to go tubeless. The kit's broken down, it's slightly changed, but you can buy like it in 2 parts. So you've got one bit for your pole, which is 20 quid, and then you've got a Go Tubeless hose reel kit, which is £40 pretty much, so 60 quid for the two together. But once you bought, say, the hose reel kit, that's 40 quid, and if you do 2 separate poles, you could then buy the Go Tubeless kit for both poles, if that makes sense, because you're just using whatever you've got on your main hose reel. Ah, that's interesting, Ched. Yeah, have you seen that, Matt? Ted's just saying that Rutex Designs have a prototype at the moment, hopefully in development, for the OV8. They couldn't find enough people to test. So yeah, Matt, you might as well get in touch with him. Like I said, just move that. I'd been sent some stuff from Rutex Designs as well, mate, to use. So yeah, that's what I would do. And that'd be a good call, actually. He's got a market there, hasn't he, for people. Oh, so Nelly, you can do a 3D print. Okay, I'll take to make it so that it would work on the tubeless system. Yeah, lads, speak to Neil. There's got to be a market for it. Sorry, the page is loading up. It's a bit slow, a bit like me. Yes, that's the tubeless system for your pole kit. Basically, you'll get in the bit to go at the bottom of your pole. I've forgotten what it's called. It's not a bumper. You've got a hose stop here, but you won't need that. Depends on the type of gooseneck you got. Then you've got a bit of hose, so it connects from your gooseneck down. Then you've got this connector here which connects onto this bottom bit, and this tail end basically has got like a rectus male 21 on the end. You can see it's circular, so that's the bit that won't go up a OV8 pole. You alright, Darlo, mate? Thanks for joining in. And yeah, it's this bit. So it connects to the slick connector basically. And obviously you can buy all these bits individually and do it yourself, or just buy it in the kit form. And obviously you use one of these per pole. They've got on their website, there is links to YouTube videos on basically how to fit it and put it together. And because some of you might still have the old type goosenecks that Gardner did, and there's still a way of using that. And or if you get the newer types, it'll tell you for both ones how to measure it up and fit it in your pole basically. So that's the bit that goes in your pole basically for the pole kit. If I just go back a bit, and then I'll just show you the bit that goes on your hose reel really. So you can choose between 6 and 8 mil. And then you've got this bit here, which is your slick connector. So it disconnects and connects quickly with your pole hose. And then a bit here on your right hand side. And if you can see it, I've got a slick connector, although I've got a tough connector from Rutex Designs to connect it on my reel. But Matthew, my son, he's got the slick connector too there to connect it to the main hose. And then this hose here, I think is long enough for a 35 foot pole or 45, I can't remember. Mine's enough for a 35 foot pole anyway. So basically I had the hose myself, so I've already put that on with the bits I brought myself. And then I've got the pole sort of like end, brought that, connected all together. And yeah, I love it. It's absolutely great. Nelly's just saying I prefer the old design where the rectus male is at the end of the section 1. Yeah, so rather having, just get a better picture, this tail hose out here hanging out, basically this bit at the bottom was very flush at the bottom of your first section in your pole, and then this slick connector, I used to hold it down the bottom here and just push it into the bottom of your pole here, and it would connect together that way, and then just pull to disconnect it. I preferred it that way as well rather than this, because when you put this into the back of your, or in your van, I find this bit hits the back of your van and starts to coil round, and it does get a bit of wear and tear there as well. Whereas when you had it, like I said, in the bottom of the first section of your pole, it's marvellous. But then again, what I do like about the tail end, because there's pros and cons with everything, is on my 18-foot pole, I have this longer than 6 inches. Because I fit a 35 section on, well, sections on my pole to make it a 35 footer. And those sections are longer than obviously the other bit of the pole. So I need a longer length from this part here to then still be able to connect it the way it's designed. So I have a longer tail end on my 18-foot pole set up for that reason basically. Sorry Matt, just seeing you coming up. Do you have a long enough pole hose to cover when you need extensions? Yes mate. On my main hose reel, I've then got my pole hose coming off it, so to speak, and that's enough for a 35-foot pole. So I measured what it would come with if you used to buy one off Xline. And I brought some, well, X hose from Xline. I brought enough of that to be 35 foot. And then I've cut it off, put the slick connector on the end, and that whole thing goes on my reel that way, if that makes sense. And then whatever pole I connect to it, it'll work, it's fine. And obviously the hose that I've got coming off my main hose, that would connect to my pole, if that makes sense. That will be on the reel, that's long enough. So if I connect my 35-foot pole, it's no problem. That's how I've got it set up, mate. Ched's saying on Rutex ones, add an extension. I'll have to have a look at their website, really, see if he has got anything on there. But yeah, the whole idea of the tubeless system really is to stop you having to have all that pole hose that's normally hanging out the back of your hose, and you're having to coil it up and then slide it over your tube holders. Well, that's what I used to do, and then getting it off. So it saves you time doing that. You just grab the pole, connect it and go, and then disconnect it, shove it away. Yeah, Nelly, I agree with you. The Xline hose is the best. The I forgot what it's called. That's what it is. Xline hose. It's yeah, cracking. But I do use the Xceed hose for the bit of my tubeless system that goes up and down inside my pole. To be honest, I did try the Xline X hose, and I can't remember why. I think it was just tougher to fit on the fittings compared to the Xceed one. It was a lot easier, so I think that's why I just kept with the Xceed Innovations hose for that one. And then obviously they're selling all these individual bits as well to get some spares. So it is handy. I do like it. And it's quite a while ago I noticed as well with Xceed. They've well, if you go to the videos, yeah, I'll open it up on YouTube for you. So it depends what gooseneck you got, but they've got videos for both. It's all self-explanatory. It's quite simple and easy to do. And Squeaky Clean Dave made a video all on it as well. Good idea there, Ted. Also, if you've got like a 100-metre hose, you then got 125 metres, haven't you, with the pole hose attached to it. And like you say, the slick connector or tough connector using that bit further away from you, so hopefully it won't get caught up in all the wheelie bins and corners of brick walls and that. It's a cracking idea. Now, see, I just followed the video on here, and I've done it on my 4-foot poles as well. And I've got longer than 6 inches hanging out, because like I said, so I can put the, sounds dodgy saying that, doesn't it? So that I can put my extensions on, no problems. And that's just how you attach it to your hose. Yeah, totally agree, Nelly. It's a lot easier. It makes you a lot quicker. I mean, there are ways around it, but it's just so much simpler. It's worth the money. Yeah, and I've got all the videos on the website. They're really handy, easy to follow along. And the X hose, where can we find that? Tubeless system does make sense, especially if you're adding extensions to your pole. Otherwise, adding a section can be a pain, yeah, because of the slick connector on the end. Yeah, what I used to do, Matt, is I made up my own one before I could afford anything. And I just used to have to disconnect the slick connector from the tubeless system, if that makes sense. And then I'd thread my pole hose through my extension. Then I'd have to connect it to my pole, put the extension onto my pole, and off I go. But as soon as I had enough money, I just bought the tubeless system. I've been using it for years now, and I absolutely love it. I think it's great. It's just a shame some of you lot are excluded who've got the OV8 poles, really. And if Rutex Designs do come up with that, that would be absolutely brilliant, wouldn't it? Or Nelly does something. And there's a big market of people out there for it, really. Right, where we're going, window cleaning hose. Here we go, pole hose. X tube, sorry, yeah, saying X hose. There's two different lots. There's the old one which I had when I first started called Micro Flex. They've got different sizes for different length poles you got basically. But that was really stretchy, so they've come out with the X tube, and this stuff's great. It's very similar to like the Exceed Innovations hose, as in it's like a PU hose, very solid. But this will be a bit thicker and last, so that's why I have it as my pole hose going from my main hose. It's all attached onto my reel basically, with a slit connector on the end. That way when it's dragging around the concrete, it's no problem, it lasts longer. But I use the Exceed Innovation hose inside my actual pole just because it's easier to push onto the fittings than the X tube hose. It was a lot harder basically, so that's why I did it that way. Oh Mark, you've got to get an electric reel, mate. The difference it made to me is absolutely unreal. And yeah, and Matthew was chuffed to bits when I got me and him one. And obviously for me to get it, I did get a loan though, but it was worth it, mate. Absolutely worth it. But like I say, there's so many out there, and I agree with Ched. If I had the money, I would have gone for the Reel Master. But I bought the Xline one because I couldn't afford the two Reel Masters. And plus it was similar because of the size of it. Mine had to be mounted up in the air, not on the floor in my van. It wouldn't fit in. So, but the Xline ones do me fine. But the Reel Master, I think, is the one that everyone wants. Yeah, this as a pole hose is really, really great stuff. So I'm just going to find Retex Designs. Here we go. Well, I can't see the one he's got in development, but that's the one he actually stocks on his site. But it'll tell you it's not for, it's only for gardener poles basically. I'm guessing it could possibly work in the Xline poles. I'd have to ask him really. And you can see they've got the Rectus 21 part at the base of the first section. And that pushes inside to connect it that way rather than having a tail end hanging out the end. And I did prefer that as well, to be honest. But it was harder when I put an extension on my pole, it wouldn't connect, so I'd have to faff around. That's why when I saw XC change it, I've changed to that system and I've been using it ever since. Yeah, it makes sense, Ched. Yeah, Real Masters are dog's bollocks. Yeah, it's a shame that Window Clean Warehouse own them now, because you're saying the quality will probably go down. It's not pure freedom anymore. Matt's just saying your 3D power up has been fine except for a belt snapping once. It's only been once though, innit? It snapped, and I suppose as long as you got a spare, you're right, isn't it? It's when it happens on the day that's a problem, innit? Ah. With you on that one. I've forgotten how to make your own tubeless system. If you look on YouTube, I think Darren from Green Pro Limited on his channel's got a version of it, and Squeaky Clean Dave as well. I think it involved using a washer. Can't remember what size, if it is an M8. and yeah, you can make your own ones basically. And that's what I did do, and I used it that way till I could afford, like I said, the tubeless system. And then when the Xline changed it, I went with the change as well. But I think it's great. I use it. It's a lot tidier in my van, and I do work a lot quicker, I would say. It just depends how many cleans you're doing in a day, really, doesn't it? No worries, Martin. You're all right, mate. It's just a general chit chat amongst everyone for this week. No particular subject, buddy. Ah, that's it. Yeah, I think it was an M8 washer, wasn't it, Nelly? And then it's a Rectus 21 with your O-ring on the end, and it's kind of jammed. It was just fiddly to make it from him, because you have to use the pole hose and you have to keep trimming it till it's the right distance, so it's nice and tight basically. So it's far easier just to buy the tubeless system than make your own. But if you make your own and it's done, you know it's done, innit? Yeah. Like say the lads who use the OV8 poles, so kind of like can't use it, or they say you can't get a univalve in there, but I'm sure you can. I know some people put them in the second section, but I think a lot of them can fit them in just in the bottom of the first section. I think it'll fit in there. Rob is just saying, looking at a system, Xline or Ionic, both at the expo. Yeah, that's a good thing about that, and you can go to the stands and have a look at the kit yourself and see it. But the other thing is, I'm going to go up in my van, mate. So if you catch hold of me, I'll show you my stuff in the van. And I'm sure if you see some other window cleaners there with other makes, you get to see how it is set up in their van, as opposed to all looking brand new on a display, if you get what I mean. So put it on the bottom of the OV8 poles. Is that the bottom of the first section, Martin, mate? Ah, so Matt's just saying just below the first section. So it's the top of the second section it'll fit in. Got you. Ah, there you go, Robbie. Ched's just saying Ionics have a sister brand, Pure O2, that price match anyone, and they have crash tested systems. Oh, you're going in your van as well, Mark? I expect most people will, really, wouldn't they? Be interested to see the other vans. It'd be like some of them old YouTube videos you see where they meet in car parks and show each other's vans off and get to have a look in the back and how people have done things. I know I'd like to get rid of all the God, I've forgotten what it's called, plywood in the side of my van, because I wash out my van when I clean it every week. It's obviously starting to get a bit bent and that because of all the water. I'd love some kind of lining in there that is waterproof basically, but still be able to screw stuff in there to like hang me little bits and pieces up in the side of the van. So I was going to have another drink of this beer before it goes. We're on Adnam's Ghost Ship. It's at 4.5%. Not bad stuff, actually. Nice one, Nelly. Until you've done that before a few times. Luckily for me, I've told my wife I'm going this year because I've been wanting to go for 8 years and I always can't. Oh, you've got a boxer long wheelbase van, so easier for taking the car, yeah. Oh, it's Xline. And if I remember, it almost looked like carpet lined as well, didn't it? Oh, might have to have a look in there. Waterproof board from Wix. Black doesn't bother, because like you say, black and orange, And also I've got that protector light or rhino lining that Xline do, which is black as well, so it would fit perfect. That would. In fact, I'll have a look on there. Poly kit, Matt. Yes, this is what Matt's on about. Looks quite smart really, doesn't it? I suppose mine would be the equivalent of that. So it'd be 460 quid. Damp proof protection in a wet environment. Stronger than plywood by the looks of it. Let's have a look at Screwfix. No, I mean, it's going to take about 6 years to try and find it. Oh, okay, put it over the plywood. Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. There's a lot of money in it. But if it's worth it, it's going to be worth it, I suppose. So I'm just trying to look for something and it's black in the pictures. Yeah, Matt saying everything at Streamline's a lot of money. I'll have to have another look for that shed later, or go in the store and ask actually. I'm sure if I speak to someone, tell them what I'm after, I'll show them. Yeah. 460 quid. But that'd be with them fitting it as well, won't it? I was thinking I've got the Rhino lining from Xline. Ah, Wix, not Screwfix. Everyone's telling me it's Wix. Can't spell neither. Cheers, Chad. Right, gotcha. Says it's widely used to protect floors, walls, doors, windows, worktops during renovation work. These are compact, lightweight, making them easy to carry and lay in place. They're also flexible and can effortlessly be cut into the appropriate size or shape using a sharp knife. This means they'll fit your surroundings perfectly, so any paint, dust, dirt won't stain or scratch surfaces. Nice one. Sorry about the volume. That looks a really good shout there, Ched, compared to 460 quid. £4. Probably under a tenner you get your van. Well, no, probably under 20 quid, wouldn't it? Yeah, but see what he's saying. Stick it onto the plywood. Or get new plywood and then put that on there and should be away, shouldn't you? Well, I'm going to have to, make a note of this. Definitely look at doing that. It's something I could do on a day off or a weekend, isn't it? That's a cracking shout there, mate. Wonder how many other people will be doing that to their vans now. And like you say as well, the good thing about being thin is you still can put stuff like you would on your plywood, like the plant holders, that sort of thing, and then use them as places to put stuff on that. And the ones I've got, I use they're black as well, so yeah, it's a good shout that, mate. Where are the reels? The internet looks a bit slow, so it's going to take a while to load that page up. And I've put the quote in as well. That went off 9 o'clock Friday morning for that big job I got with 128 flats in an Aldershot student accommodation. So yeah, I just put the quote in saying it's for one clean every 6 months over 2 days, and then put the price in. So I went for 1,600. Because obviously I've got to buy the poles, and we'll see. The guy did reply to said thank you very much, but obviously it's not up to him, so he's forwarding it off to the council, and then we'll either hear something or we won't. Knowing me, if I do, it'll be like, can you come tomorrow? I've got to order everything. Sorry, Robert, just in your car question. Do you use... Yeah, I use the Xline poles, mate. That's all I've ever used as well, so I can't really compare them to anything else. Yeah, that's the reel I've got, but I'll try and find the poles for you, mate. They've got different poles because they've got their version, I suppose, of a OV8 pole, the hexagonal poles or whatever they are. I've got glass fibre poles, just 4-foot ones. They're really, really handy, mate. They are. And then don't go hybrid. And I suppose you want to go either carbon fibre, which is the Evolution Pro Plus, or if you want to go as light as possible. Then they've got the super high mod, which is the nano, and it's the nano pole. That's the one I use, and I got it for Matthew as well. And this is the hex pole, which is kind of like their version of a OV8 pole, I suppose. But yeah, this is the one I've got. It is expensive though, because it's a high mod basically, so it's a lot more expensive. I mean, if you got a 25-foot one here at £499, but if you used to go for carbon fibre, it's £275 for a 25-foot pole. So that's the difference in price. And as you probably know, the carbon fibre ones, they take longer to wear down than a high mod pole that'll wear down a lot quicker. But then again, it's pros and pluses. I still find it's great. And when I pick up my carbon fibre pole just to use as a pole for filming or camera on the end for gutter vacuuming and that, you can definitely feel the difference in weight, and that's without anything added on it. So I would not go back from a nano to, I mean the carbon fibre would last longer, mate, but definitely the nano pole is, for me, brilliant. I mean, just have a look round, but a pole's a pole, isn't it? But what I will say is I don't like the clamps that come on them, or any of the poles that Xline do. I find the clamps a bit aggressive at wearing down the pole sections. They wear really fast. So I've took them off and I've replaced them with these from Window Cleaning Warehouse. They're called Phantom, which you probably already heard a lot about, the Phantom clamps. Just find them. Yeah, these. So basically, I'll try and find the Xline clamps. I don't know if they do them. I'm sure they've got them somewhere. So I just don't know where to look exactly. So I'll just do a search. I'll come to the chat in a minute. I'm just distracted. They do sell the clamps, but I can't see them. But I took these. You can buy these. What did I do? I think I bought the set 1 or 0 to 5 because it works out cheaper than buying it individually. And I'm sure that'll do a 25-foot pole. And then individually buy the other ones like clamps 6, 7, and 8 for any other extensions you get. And these are just absolutely brilliant. As you probably know, you've got an inner sleeve here which you can replace. You can take out when it's worn and put a newer one in. So I do that every 6 months for my poles. It's quick and easy to use, and even with a very worn section on your pole, using this Phantom clamp still gives it a lot of life. Because when I first got it, I got this. I think it was the one to go on the second section of my pole, put a clamp there so it holds the first section, which was spinning round. It was really, really worn. And when I put the Phantom clamp on there, it was solid. And I used that same section for about another 4 months until I had to change it. And that was something that was really worn. So I've replaced all the clamps there from the Xline ones to these Phantom pole clamps. And they fit on my nano pole, no problem. And I've done it ever since. So that's probably about 4 years now. And yeah, absolutely brilliant. So you could probably do that with the SLX as well, to be honest, mate. It might breathe a bit of life in them poles, really. So just coming up, you all right, Mills? Mate, I've got the Rhino board. I can't say that word, but plywood in my van. It's expensive, but it's good waterproof boarding. Aha, gotcha. Have to look into that because I was thinking like other types of board. Is it marine board? But that's expensive. Cheers, Nelly. Yeah, be interesting if we get it or not. I wouldn't lose sleep if I don't get it. It'd probably be a blessing in disguise, to be honest. But if I got it, I'd look forward to doing it because I've never done something like that before, if that makes sense. And then work leads to work. So, like I said, once you got that pole, it could gain me other work and then it'd be worth it. So it's a bit of a gamble. Oh, mine, right, the hex didn't last you long. You love the Nano 25, but you think you're heavy-handed and snapping sections after 3 months. Yeah, it's nice and light. It definitely is light. I haven't snapped a section. My son has. I guess because it got worn, that gets thinner, don't they? Whereas if you had them phantom clamps on there, it slows down the wear. No worries, Robbie. Sorry. Hi, Dawn. You all right? Yeah, it's a good question. What do you think of the phantom poles, people? My son's first pole he had was a phantom pole. It was just a carbon fibre one. So it's 22 foot. Let's go 25 foot. So with VAT, it'd be £358.80p. But if you went for a high mod, phantom pole, 25 foot, £852. Wish it was 80 something. Yeah, 852 quid. But I think you find that whatever pole you get, isn't it? Basically, the high mod's going to be a lot more expensive than a carbon fibre. Carbon fibre though is going to last longer, and your high mod's going to wear quicker. But if you look after your poles between cleans, wipe them down, lube them up with a PTFE or whatever you like to use, and then obviously what some people also do is use is it like lacquer or something? I can't remember. I used to do it. I haven't done for ages, and it kind of likes put it can bring the thickness of the pole. Basically, it's like a hardened layer over the top of your pole, so that would give it protection as well, and it makes it all tight. If it used to do it because when it was spinning in the old clamps, you put some lacquer on your poles, and it basically makes it thick enough so the clamps get a good grip again. But it's something you could do just to make them last a bit longer, isn't it? Do that like once a month and do your pole maintenance. So yeah, going back, sorry, to the phantom pole. I was quite impressed with how light it was, considering my son just had a carbon fibre and I had a nano. He liked it. But what I like about the nano poles is the sections that slide in each other at the bottom, they're a bit bulbous, so you can't actually pull it out of the clamp. There's a positive stop. Whereas like with the phantom pole, and I think most poles, to be honest, you can slide the whole section out if you over stretch the pole, and that they normally don't have a bit of colouring on there, so you don't take it too far because it's going to snap that bit. It has to be a certain depth inside the pole. But with the nano one, is a positive stop and you can't actually pull it out of the clamp, which is why on your pole maintenance I have to loosen the clamp to be able to take the sections out. So that's what I really love about the nano poles. You don't even have to look for the colouring or where that should be because they wear off. It's just a positive physical stop, and you didn't get that on the other ones or the phantom though. And it was obviously nice and light because of how thin the sections were as well. I gave that pole away to help a mate out who's starting up, to be honest, because I've got my son a nano. Matthew's got like sclerosis and he's got a bit of muscular dystrophy. So when I had enough money, I got him a pole just like me, and yeah, he's made it a lot better for him. Nellie's just saying the SLX have changed over the past few years. They don't last as long. Right, I've heard all that. Yeah, as they used to. Not as made as well as what they used to be like. So you changed to the Phantom, and you can't fault them. Like 2 years and counting. So yeah, someone else used the Phantom pole and likes that. Is that carbon fibre, Neil, mate? Okay, most people do that now, don't they? That paying 3 payments, like PayPal do things like that as well. I've used them. Does come in handy. So you're thinking about replacing your gardener poles to replace them. Yeah, I do like a challenge, mate. Something different. It's a typical military thing. When someone says that can't be done, it just makes you do the opposite. You think, right, I'll prove to you it can, even though I haven't got a clue. Okay, similar to the lacquer. Good one here. Anyone clean stained glass windows with water-fed pole? Okay, Google says not to use chemical on them. Is that right? You got one coming up. Customer doesn't want me to use chemical. Body blue raised arms. I have cleaned some buildings where they've had stained glass. I just need to be really careful because obviously it's going to be old. So I just used a flocked brush and I just used water-fed pole and it was fine. It just obviously be a lot slower, I suppose, because there's more places for dirt stuff to get ingrained in, isn't it? And then just give it a good rinse, but I can't see it being a problem, mate. Has anyone else here got an experience of like cleaned old churches or anything like that before? Neil's just saying, if anyone going to show wants any pole spaces, let me know. I'll make that some for you free of charge. You've shared a video on the Facebook group with spaces. Helps stop the section spinning. I can't remember seeing that. I'll have to have a look. There you go. Alright, Carbon. Hey, old and grumpy, you alright, mate? Wow, so you've been with him that long. Is that the same thing because of the quality of the poles changed now? So you're thinking, or just fancy a change? I mean, 8-9 years is a long time, isn't it? Yeah, no chemicals and a flocked brush for leaded windows, and you should be fine. Ched's saying the same. And I suppose if it does leak, it's not down to you. It's just the fact that it's an old window. Were they puttied in them days? And you just covered your bases, haven't you? You could probably get them to have a look and keep an eye while you're cleaning and just let you know if anything does come through. Yeah, I think it's not necessarily gardeners' fault. It's the manufacturers, isn't it? And sometimes they think, like when you get tablets from the pharmacy, you just get different makes, or they're made by someone else, aren't they? And you don't get told, they're just different. And I expect gardeners as well, if the manufacturer does a change, they're not going to tell gardeners about it, and then the customers are complaining. And that's the thing, innit? I suppose if you accidentally break a bit of a stained glass, it's hard to replace or get repaired. But I wouldn't let it stop you from doing it. Just be careful and use a flock brush. Take your time. Should be fine. It's interesting to clean old things. I mean, I used to clean a guy's house, and he used to get me to clean the inside windows as well. And I'd be up my ladder. It's bloody huge. So there's a big ladder. I used to get that in there. And it's all Victorian glass. It's like when you look out the windows, because it had swirls in the glass. It's like you might as well have been pissed. But I did think, I wonder how many people have cleaned and looked at this particular like bit of glass, and I'm just one of them people on the list now. So he's saying they said they might not want them cleaned because they're fragile. Yeah, exactly. I think if you're just gentle, I think the only way there you could probably go around that one, mate, is test a window where they can see, clean it, and just leave it with them and see if they'll get in touch with you later. So kind of like plant a seed. I don't think you can do any better than that. because you don't want to sort of like, you want the customer to make up their own mind, don't you? So it's probably 2 bits. You've got a little test on it, they've had a test, and then just let them decide if they're happy to go with it or not. And it kind of gives you an idea. And like you said, not going to use chemicals and stuff, and just water. And people with stained glass windows, like you say, have got to have them cleaned, haven't they? So there's got to be a way of doing it. Okay, so it depends on the type. So it doesn't sound like really old stained glass then, by the sounds of it. There's even some new modern day houses, don't they? They have glass to look like stained glass, if that makes sense. It's always worth it, isn't it? Recce is seldom time wasted. So what other poles do people mainly use then? Oh, sorry. Got another one come up here for you, Nelly. Mills, sorry, mate. I think sometimes, if you just give it a good rinse, it probably could be enough if it's that fragile. Right, okay, old stained glass. So I've cleaned a house. I've got to get back to actually to clean her windows before Easter. Another job to do tomorrow. I've got quotes to do. Yeah, it is an old house. It could pretty much be a house in France in my eyes. And I feel for her because she's got a lot of wooden windows that she has to get painted, and they're in awkward spots. So I know it's going to cost a lot of money. And there was a couple of windows I used to clean, and every now and then they'd leak. She knew it wasn't my fault. It's just the windows needed repairing, re-puttying out or whatever it was. Yeah, she always used to panic about that. Yeah, it'd be interesting, mate. It's nice to do all different things, isn't it? Yeah, I suppose as long as it's not flooding, and when it's just a little trickle, they'd know it could be pricey and expensive to repair these things, can't it? That's why I feel sorry for my customer. That's why I always used a flocked brush. And she's worried, obviously, because you spend all that money to have it painted. So I try not to be too, not aggressive, but you know what I mean. I try and wash it with the minimum amount of fuss to try and protect the paintwork as best as possible, really. But at the same time, I want to clean the windows. Ah, I never knew that. I reckon, Neil, you could work in a museum of window cleaning, couldn't you? Quite knowledgeable is that sort of thing. I've often thought, does anyone actually know if there is a window cleaning museum, like a proper one? Because I've often wondered if there's one worth a look. Have a look round. All right, Paul, had a new job recently with old stained glass windows on one side of the house and told them I wouldn't touch them. One of the windows was bowing inwards. Yeah. You can imagine the claim going against you then. 35 years on the glass, yeah. Probably seen most things there, haven't you? Okay, that's handy to know, because I know a lot of my customers have composite doors, and I think half of them don't know that they're shite, and you're getting marks on them. If you use anything abrasive to get something off, you're going to take the paintwork off. But door restorer, 20 quid on Amazon. I've also heard, don't know if it's true or not, I've got this off one of my customers, WD-40 and the cloth is good at cleaning up a composite door. I've even had one of my customers, they've had a new door, it's a composite one, and they said, can you not clean our door because it won't be protected by their warranty, basically. So I had to take that off, and that made me think about all the ones I do clean. Yeah, George Formby. That's actually my ringtone on my work phone. Oh, so it does work. Okay, yeah, just one of my customers said they used it and it come up really, really well. So that made me think, right, maybe that's what I should do. Or if there's a door I have to clean that's bad, I'll just use WD-40 in the cloth. And then they'll think I'm amazing, as long as it worked. But yeah, a lot of people don't care, do they, whenever the door's done? Like I said, I've only had one customer ask me not to clean it because it's a new door and it's not meant to be cleaned using water-fed pole. It'll void the warranty. Yeah, and when I first started, oh my God, every time that phone went off, I felt like thrown out the window because I'm in a rush to try and get somewhere. And I'm like, how can I stop, answer the phone calls, do quotes or organise stuff when I just want to work? So luckily, I passed the phone over to my wife and said, you deal with stuff, you book stuff in, you know what's going on at home. I don't. Just tell me where to go. I'll clean it. That's my problem. But it had to be when I'm cleaning windows though, didn't it, really, for a window cleaner. And my boss during basics, his name was Formby as well. And yeah, instructors and that used to clean when I'm cleaning windows. Now I'm a window cleaner. It was all meant to be, wasn't it? So we've come up with some good stuff then. There's people like using the phantom poles. I like the Xline Nano, I really do. It's just expensive, but I'd use the phantom clamps on them for sure. And WD-40 or what was it, door restorer from Amazon's good to clean up composite doors when they're pretty grubby. And don't go near very old leaded glass. So yeah, it's not been a bad old chit chat, getting some handy stuff out. But pink stuff on PVC works a treat from Paul. Yeah, when I first saw pink stuff, I brought loads of that. I've got loads of it in my garage now, and I bought it when it was £1 a tub. So I'm all right there. I'm not sure if they're the best place to buy as window cleaning warehouse for phantom poles, but yeah, they've got them on there because I think that's their baby basically, and it's their pole. So that's your window cleaning warehouse. Yeah, so it's facelift, so it's them in it. And I know when they come out at the expo, didn't it? They went like hotcakes, they did. There's another one from Nelly. I won't pronounce that. Colour restorer for composite doors. So I take it then you could clean, say, with WD-40 and then use the colour restorer afterwards just to like finish it all off. Yeah, that'd be a good idea, Ched. I did think of that at the time as well if I was going to go down that route. Or that would probably make a really bad DIY video. A lot of swearing. So it would probably be a before and after and a little bit of how I've done it. But yeah, it would be interesting. I think a lot of people would like to use that. Oh, Ubix. Yeah, I've still got some of that in my shed. And Virusol I used to use a lot, but I like Synergy Pro Clean, I think is what it's called. But Synergy's definitely good. Ah, okay, on the door, see, saying it last month's, that stuff. If it's something small, it's something you can always have tucked away in the van, isn't it? So normally, what normally happens, you have a customer there and they'll start moaning, going, oh, I don't know what I can use. And then you're like, hang on a minute. Put it on 2 or 3 minutes later and they're like amazed. It's sort of like one of them things, isn't it? So it'd probably be, yeah, something to always handily have in the van, I suppose. And you know, like on your good customers, if you've got a bit of time going, you think, do you know, I'm going to touch this up a bit for them. See if I notice, you know, the old deers and that. I mean, it was nice for that customer to come out and just said, thanks for putting up with me and being miserable, but you stand there talking to me's helped. And she made a point of that. That was nice. Not that I didn't mind doing it anyway. That's what I said to her. That's just me all over. So, yeah. Don't be tempted with the hex pile. Stick with me Nano. I love me Nano. I didn't get through to Xline. They're a bit busy at the moment. And I think they're advertising, aren't they, for someone to work in dispatch. So I think everyone's really busy there. So I'll just wait and see what this quote is. And when that comes through, I've got a choice really between getting another Nano pole to go up to 70 foot, or do I get a gardener's one and do that? I'm not sure. But I'm going to stop having a headache about thinking that. That's just something I'll worry about once the if the quote comes through and I'm mad enough. Definitely grab a lot of attention, won't it? So I mean, I think when people see you trying to work hard and that, people are interested, aren't they? Sorry, I'll just have a look. No worries, Ched, mate. You take care. I was thinking of perhaps drawing it to a close soon. Hope you all have a good week as well, buddy. Forgotten what I was going to look at now. It's gone. Ah, yeah. I think once this live's over, I'll have to, because I'm going to move my work schedule across a day, because I haven't done that yet for Monday, for Matthew's birthday. Yeah, I'm planning on I'm going for a haircut, because I've been overdue that. I think the hairdresser's going to swear, because they like monthly cleans, and I'm going to go in with like a 12 monthly haircut, I think. But the price will be the same. And yeah, so I'll have my hair chopped. Take the dog for a walk, and there's a couple other little bits. I've got a couple of quotes to do. Face softs and gutters have been asked to actually this week, and sit down at some point with my wife to go through checking the price rises we're doing, just to finalise that, ready to send off. Yeah, we'll definitely sort out Morrison's meet up, like saying Saturday morning, and Matt's not going to get there till at least 9:30 by the looks of it. No worries at all. Yeah, I'll leave everyone to it, because it's Sunday, innit? And we're going to start the week tomorrow. So you want as much downtime as you can get. Probably want to charge a hell of a lot extra for a first cut, I think. No, I don't, mate. It's something I've been thinking about. I've got to learn completely what the hell a Discord is. That is definitely something I've been thinking about. Oh, Matt's saying we can start breakfast without him. We'll wait, mate. Always get a takeaway breakfast for you. Yeah, I'll have to look at a Discord, mate, and get up with the youngsters. Something I could look into. I'll have to watch YouTube videos about how it all works. Yeah, well, I'll close it. Say goodnight to everyone. Have a good week. I'll think of you while I'm not working tomorrow. But yeah, it's Matthew's birthday, so I've still got stuff to do, like say haircut and all that lot. There's always something in it. But yeah, have a good one and stay safe out there. Thanks for following on and watching us this week, today, for this live anyway. Take care, everyone.